Ever looked in the mirror and thought, wait, is my hairline receding or am I just imagining it? You're not alone. Every week, thousands of people post this exact question online. But here's the truth. Sometimes it is balding and sometimes it's just normal shedding or bad lighting. So in this video, let's figure out how to tell if you're actually balding or just paranoid. First, let's talk about what's normal. On average, people shed 50 to 100 hairs per day. That sounds like a lot, but with over 100,000 hairs on your head, it's completely normal. Sometimes you'll see extra shedding during seasonal changes, especially in autumn. That doesn't mean you're balding. The difference between shedding and balding is this. Shedding means the hair falls, but the follicle is still healthy. It will regrow. Balding means the follicle is shrinking, producing thinner, shorter hairs until it stops completely. So the key question isn't, am I losing hair? It's, are my follicles miniaturizing? Here are the real red flags. A receding hairline, especially at the temples, thinning at the crown, the classic bald spot, miniaturized hairs. If you notice some strands are much finer and shorter compared to others, that's a sign of follicle shrinkage. Family history. If your dad or uncles went bald young, genetics might be catching up. Doctors use something called the Norwood scale for men and the Ludwig scale for women to classify the stages. If you fit those patterns, it's likely real balding, not just paranoia. But let's be fair, not every scare is real hair loss. Some of the most common false alarms are bad lighting. Overhead light in the bathroom can make hair look see-through, wet hair. Water clumps hair together, exposing more scalp than usual. Haircuts. A shorter cut can suddenly make thinning look obvious. Stress shedding. After illness or burnout, you might shed heavily for 2 to 3 months. That's called telogen effluvium, but it usually grows back. So don't panic at every photo. Context matters. Here's something people don't talk about enough, the anxiety spiral. You notice something, then you start checking your hair 20 times a day, zooming in with your phone, comparing old selfies, and that obsession itself can make the problem feel way worse. That's why dermatologists often recommend structured tracking, so you can rely on data, not emotions. So how do you actually know if you're balding? 3 steps. Track it consistently. Take photos once a month, same lighting, same angle. Daily photos only fuel anxiety. Look for progression. A one-off picture can mislead. Progress over 3 to 6 months tells the truth. Get objective analysis. That can be with a dermatologist using digital tools or with AI apps. For example, Myhair.AI uses deep learning to scan your scalp photos, detect miniaturized hairs, and compare month to month. That way, you don't have to guess whether it's lighting or real thinning. It doesn't replace doctors, but it gives you clarity at home and helps you decide if you actually need treatment. Here are a few numbers to keep in mind. About 25% of men start showing balding before age 30. By 50, that number jumps to 50% of men and about 40% of women. Telogen effluvium, the stress-related shedding, affects up to 30% of women at some point in life, but it's temporary. So statistically, yes, early balding is common, but false alarms are also extremely common. So, are you actually balding or just paranoid? The truth is, only time and tracking can tell. If your hairline follows a classic pattern and miniaturized hairs are visible, it's likely real. If it's just seasonal shedding, lighting, or stress, it may pass. Either way, the smart move is the same. Don't guess, track it. Use consistent photos, expert input, or AI tools like Myhair.AI to know for sure. Because with hair loss, the earlier you know, the more you can do. Thanks for watching, and remember, panic never helped anyone's hairline. Data does.